Do 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 do. Greetings, fandom. My name is Andre, and I have returned for a new video. Now, I know you guys are just wondering, like, what's with the new haircut? Like, why did you like cut it off? Uh, yeah, it's been a while since I actually had a decent hairstyle, along with the super gracious afro that I always loved. And where I'm from, there's this like shortage of shampoos that are like contained in very large bottles, because like I have to buy the bottles of shampoo that are like really that big, just for my afro to get the satisfactory treatment that it deserves. They did not have that. Grocery stores and shops did not have that. I looked everywhere, so I had no choice but to fucking remove it. Don't worry, it'll grow back in like 4 months. Yes, because like I actually estimated it myself. For this video, I was going to let you guys know that is a very special moment for me, because it is today that I had just started my video game collection through the Nintendo Switch console. Now, I am one to have this dispute in my mind whether or not to acquire these video games like physically or digitally, because like I was more of a cartridges person, but like here's one thing that I wanted to point out. Okay, uh this is something that like Nintendo has done, and this is the first game that I've purchased. Ta-da! Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. All right, and as you can see, if you can look at the cartridge, I'm just gonna show you the insides, like the box, and then if there's something that I wanted to point out here, it's the fact that like the cartridges kept getting smaller and smaller through the years. Like I remembered back in the 1980s, like the cartridges were like literally the size of your entire hand. Like they were hand-sized cartridges that you would insert, and it would make like this satisfying clicking sound once you insert it in the console. It was like during the NES and SNES era, and and then it just kept getting smaller. The cartridges just kept getting smaller. Like I think it was because like they wanted to like save up space and all that, or like they think the large cartridges are completely unnecessary in this day and age. But like uh I'm worried about this one, because like I'm a cartridges type of person. I'm not going to like uh I'm not going to take up a lot of space just for a digital copy of my game on my Nintendo Switch. That's what I'm trying to save up on. I'm trying to save the space there, because yeah, and so because of that, I would resort to like the cartridge types of games. And speaking of like leaving space, I actually wanted to like update. I wanted to update my Nintendo's my game on the Nintendo Switch. I wanted to update this game, and then like it turns out like as I took the time to update the said game, it really did take a lot of time. And once that was done, I actually realized that like there was some space that was left inside my memory card, which is very which is not much gigabytes, because I just wanted to save my memory card from there, because like it's not exactly a memory card that was like designated for the Nintendo Switch, because like I know there are those types of memory cards that were designed for that. So like I just put in like the typical memory card that would just be good enough to insert the my copies of Nintendo Switch Online for NES and SNES. That was the only reason why I placed the memory card there. But then when I found out that like the updates of the game would be inside the Nintendo Switch device, I was like, okay, I'm gonna need a much bigger space for a memory card. Like this one, 8 gigabytes. It's not gonna do shit once I buy more games. So like yeah, a memory card that I saw like in the same store where I bought this one from, which was like 128 gigabytes. So I was like, yeah, that's more than enough. That's more than that's more than enough space for me and my games. I was like, yeah, I'll buy that one. And also another thing that I wanted to buy was like the Nintendo Switch Pro controller. Okay, like uh throughout the entire course of my career, like I've always taken the standard approach. All right, like there were a lot of those alternatives where Nintendo could provide like the pro versions of controllers for it for the players to get a more um a better and smoother experience. Like that was a thing when they did that with the Wii, the Wii U, and the Nintendo Switch. They like each of those controllers had pro versions. Like the standard version of the Wii controller was like the Wii remote, and then it was like the pro version looked like the SNES controller, like classic controller pro, like the controller that was like it's wired, but then you just attach it to like the Wii remote. And as for the Wii U had the gamepad as a standard controller. The Pro controller of the Wii U looked very much like the controller that was used in Xbox 360, and people were pointing out the similarities that often. And for the Nintendo Switch, the standard model would be the Joy-Con, which I had purchased an extra pair back at December during the holidays because I was given enough money by my uncles and aunties for that one. I am so grateful for them. And here is what the standard Joy-Con looks like. And I totally got invested to purchase the Nintendo Switch Pro controller along with the Nintendo Switch memory card. I thought I didn't need it. Turns out I did. The more I buy new games, the more space I'm gonna need. So yeah, here it is, the standard Nintendo Switch Joy-Con, which I can separate into two further parts. And like they're button grips that are designated to like insert here if ever three or more players would be engaged in the gameplay, I guess. Which is why I intend to invite some of my friends over to play Super Smash Brothers Ultimate if ever I have like the space, because like I like when it comes to like games like this, I intend to play this more often in dock mode. All right, I have my own personal television just for that. I'm looking at it right now. It's right over there, and uh, like I got this. The ones that I need before I buy another new game would be like the memory card for the Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo Switch Pro controller, because as much as there are those people that were totally invested in the much smoother experience, I'll admit I want that smoother experience as well. That's why I want that. That's why I'm more invested to that now, which is something that I'll get in the next like 1 or 2 months, because like I barely get any allowance at this point in time. Like I just save, you know. Uh, I mean, if I could get a part-time job, that would be that would be very much appreciated. Thank you. Just for me to get more peripherals for my Nintendo Switch console, and that's for the Nintendo Switch. All right. Now, moving on to like the retro games that are on the Virtual Console, particularly the Nintendo 3DS Virtual Console. Like there are some of those games, like those games that were from the original Game Boy and Game Boy Color, that were made available on the Nintendo 3DS. And as much as I want to collect all of them, I don't think I have enough time left to do just that. Like there are two games that I have successfully purchased from there, which would be the Generation 1 games, Pokemon Blue, Red, and Yellow. But like I just wanted to like get that one for the Generation 1 typical experience that I didn't get as a kid properly. Because back then I only had played those through the My Old Boy Game Boy emulator, which I would easily be able to install in either my tab or my phone. That's the only way how I played those games. But like now, Now that I was able to access them from the virtual console, I can play those games without any guilt, without any feeling that you're pirating the game or you're getting like easy access. Like there are a lot of people who have spent thousands and thousands just to get the game that you are playing right now, and you're getting this for free. That's the kind of thing. That's the kind of mindset that I have, because like if you pirate or like download a game, think of the ones that had to spend good money just to play that same game that you're getting for free. Don't you think that's unfair? Yeah, I do think that's unfair. So yeah, I gotta play it fair, guys. Game Boy and Game Boy Color games that are on the Nintendo 3DS. Like I know Nintendo officially announced that the eShops for the Nintendo 3DS and Wii U are closing next year, March 2023, if I can remember correctly. But you will no longer be able to purchase those games that are available in the Nintendo eShop of those consoles, of those units, by August 29, which is like 6 days after my 22nd birthday. And I think that hurts me a lot. I was like, I didn't have much time, and right now I still don't have much time. And I'm losing much more time than ever to be able to like collect all of those Game Boy games. And I wanted them to play them without guilt whatsoever. That's what I'm doing right now. I am trying to like muster up all of my savings just to be able to play those kinds of video games. This is just the first step. There shall be more to come. I'm not exactly sure whether it's going to be Super Mario Odyssey, Pokemon BDSP, Pokemon Legends Arceus, Super Mario 3D World, plus Bowser's Fury. I just don't know. Like I guess I'm just gonna have to pick which one is the best for me. And the space that's given on my Nintendo Switch console. That's also the same thing that I gotta consider here. So, yes. Thank you for having to listen to my thoughts about the beloved console we have. I will be making more discussions about this. So until then, I will lay this all onto you. Hello? Yeah.